Thursday night, 6 to 8 o'clock, and Zoom it worldwide. In the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, this is known as the Dharma. Dharma simply means wisdom, insight. When we talk about wisdom or insight, we're talking about our natural state, our true nature, not the one that we've been conditioned to believe who we are. So in the process of disseminating the Buddhist teachings, which started 2,600 years ago, we take this under the guise of shamanism, which means not on a religious level. And in fact, religion can be sometimes anti-productive. In the non-productive state, we have what we call drama. Drama is the way everybody is. And when I say that, I mean all the humans, all the animals, and all the spirits in the entire universe are in the drama. Because of that, in that situation, the Buddha gave the teachings 2,600 years ago of how to work that situation into something more suitable, more appropriate. And in the process, he kind of was establishing the individual as the motive. Not the individual, but individualism. In other words, whatever was going on in India at that time, the religions or whatever, the traditions that were being practiced were very, very extreme and colorful, but also harmful. And so he spent 45 years walking around northern India, letting people know what he found out about himself. But in the process of finding out about himself, he found out that that was also the situation that everybody sooner or later has to go through. And he also interpreted his results as that we're all already in an enlightened state. We already have that functioning. And how is it functioning is the natural world around it. And because of that, and because of the infinite number of human beings that inhabit this natural world, he established what he called Dharma, or this insight into how to be okay with the way things are. And most people are not okay with the way things are, especially in modern day. So that tradition took hold in India, then died out, then went into Tibet, then died out. Now it's in the Western world, and of course it will sooner or later die out. But here we are. And here out on these islands, we're like insignificant. You know, we're a bunch of little tiny dots out in the middle of a huge ocean. But if you put things in perspective, each one of us are like that. Right? So here we are, this little tiny individual in a huge ocean of all this trauma field. So the Dharma classes that we are disseminating are kind of evolved from the Buddhist teachings down through the Indian tradition, the Himalayan tradition, and other countries, and the Tibetan tradition. Then in the Western world of, I'll call Europe, and then Canada, United States, and even Central America. But what is going on, at the same time, the Dharma is being disseminated by hundreds or maybe even thousands of men and women, and some of them lamas like myself. The world is increasing to the point of what we call extinction. And here in the Hawaiian Islands, we're 90% extinct. And when I say that, I don't mean in the humans way, I mean the animals that used to inhabit these islands on land and on the shore are gone, offshore, in the ocean. And this is starting to kind of be a picture of what's happening globally. And so the Dharma was established by my teacher, Kala Rinpoche, and other lamas, Karmapa, and many, many lamas that we brought here. on all the islands. It wasn't established to, put back what's gone, but to help the human beings that are living here be in some kind of spiritual harmonious state, which the Hawaiians themselves were actually. Not to the level of insight that we enjoy in the Dharma, but they survived here. And they took care of the island, the land. And they were in harmony with most of the demons that lived here and the ocean and all that. They came up with a tradition called Aloha. Now, Aloha is Dharma. Aloha means to be in harmony with yourself, others, and the environment around you. But the Aloha, the word Aloha, it actually translates the same way the word Dharma does. Ha is the function of energy. What energy? The energy of the universe around us and the energy that we have in our physical situation, our body. So that's ah. Lo in the Hawaiian means consciousness, or actually awareness. Not just conscious, but awareness of the conscious. And ha is the exhale of the breath in a way that's powerful, that benefits others and produces a feeling of kindness, of concern, well-being. So just like that, it's used as a greeting, it's used as a goodbye, or all different kinds of ways. But the Aloha that we're establishing here in Hawaii is to help not only the humans that live here, but also the animals that are still here, and especially the spirit. Now, the spirit world is so important to us in this tradition, which is why it's called shamanistic lamaism, is because they control everything. They're in charge of the weather, they're in charge of the elemental nature of the earth, the water, the radiance of the sun, and everything. And they are very disturbed. And the disturbance is caused by us, individually and collectively. So what to do? Well, befriend the spirit. And that is almost all of what Tibetan Buddhism is based on. Befriending spirit. And it's kind of weird because we don't acknowledge spirit. We have spirits, we have religious traditions that we have one or two, they call them gods or deities or whatever. That's the spirit. But the spirits I'm talking about are the spirits that used to be humans who are now spirits, which is where we're going. The next life is your spirit world. And it's a whole new ballgame. But not new if the mind is trained to accept however things are is okay. And when you enter into the spirit world, that's a nice frame of mind to be in. But at the same time, it works while you're alive because it keeps you healthy. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And there's that word spirit again. So I'm going to read you that book was presented to me a few weeks ago by some students. I don't even know who they were, who came here. And they said, you would like this book, because they've been watching my classes. And I'm just going to read a little bit about this before we take refuge tonight and start our practice. And tonight is going to be all about mantra tonight. The energy of the speech and bringing your mind and your physical form into that energy program. And I've been studying this book piece by piece, a little bit every day. But this is the essence of the Dharma. This is the essence of your wisdom nature. Okay? What it's all about. And it's very short and sweet. And it's a critique, actually. And it goes like this. The real meaning of human life is to develop our distinctive human characteristics through awareness, emotional positivity, activity, responsibility for ourselves, others, and the environment, and creativity. But we need to develop this in a way that is respondent to the situation we find ourselves in our daily activities and globally in the world today. I'm going to skip from that paragraph, which was short and sweet, to a little one that says, how do you affect it? And what he says, it says that hold on. The Buddhist teaching is concerned solely with the individual. Oh, that's new, because we have what we call the Sangha, okay, which is a worldwide Sangha, which is what we're connecting to, which sounds like a group. But here, this teacher, this Lama, is interpreting this as about the individual is what's important. And the individual is concerned both alone and in the free association with other individuals. It shows that in the Dharma, one is shown how to grow, how he or her, by means of actual methodology through practice, can develop a higher state of awareness and at the same time develop emotional positivity. That's a big word. How to live spontaneously and creatively in the accompaniment of many others, and how to accept responsibility for oneself and these others. How, in other words, to be more and more of a true individual. So he just said, well, yes, we're practicing this with awareness and so forth, but what is the purpose? How do we use it? And that's what the Buddha spent 45 years disseminating all these various methods and teachings called Sutra and Tantra, to take one out of the state of religion, or what we call arhatship, or Hinayana, the individual self-realization. But here he's coming back and saying, well, if you don't entertain your individuality, you won't be able to, please come in. You won't be able to use these teachings. You won't be able to use these teachings to change the group. Okay, now what is the group mind in our situation today? If you want to watch the news or social media, which are within is kind of like a corporate takeover. Okay? So now we have this corporate takeover at all levels of our society. And the corporate takeover is groups of individuals who think that they can control us. Who's that? Individuals. But the corporate takeover wants now to take over the earth as their property, the water as their property, the air we breathe as their property, and so forth. And this is not acceptable. So therefore, the Dharma, the Buddhist teachings, are more prevalent today than ever before, because the only way you can change that immense mindset of millions of individuals who want to control billions of other individuals is on an individual basis. And how is that possible is because everything is interconnected to you. Everything. You know, it looks separate. Your senses are telling you everything's separate out here. Your eyes say, oh, it's over there, and your ears, the sounds coming in, the smell, taste, that. It's not separate. It's your mind is creating your universe. The Dalai Lama told after the Senate of the United States last year. They didn't get it. There was 3 more lines that went with that. He was giving it as a blessing, because that's what they asked. And so he gave it a blessing in Tibetan, and then he translated it. He said, the first line is, your thoughts produce your universe. You believe that?
Yeah.
Of course. Everybody would like you to think, like mom, dad, friends, relatives, mothers. Everybody else likes to think that they're producing. No. And shamanism is all about that. And what it means is how you think, how you imagine, creatively and positively, actually changes this shared reality out here. It has to come from inside. And it can't be taught to everyone. It can't be said, well, I'm so damn smart, I know everything. No, that doesn't work either. You know, you can have a photographic memory, but that could drive you crazy. I can't imagine remembering everything that I ever said to God. Really. But in any case, so what do? We take refuge. We have these refuge sheets. So we're going to start with refuge. Now, refuge is like taking shelter under a tree out of the weather. And what this simply means is you're taking refuge in your own true nature, which is already intrinsic in your consciousness. As a means to move out of the controlling aspects of the drama field, which have been established in your consciousness since birth by everybody you know and so forth, as a form of freedom of that. And when I say freedom, I mean a freedom to express yourself the way you are inside, the way you really are. And that's your Buddha nature. And that's what the word Buddha means. Actually, it's 2 words, Bu and Da. You know, whenever you say something and somebody says Da, that's the second word, Buddha. Yeah, you know. And women are actually better at this than the guys, because you're in charge of the birth process and bringing us all into the world, which is very nice, very generous. So you have a quality called intrinsic awareness, intuition. Now, this intuitive intuition for men has to be learned, mostly learned. Some men, of course, have it from previous life development, because whatever you do, previous lives comes forward, follows you like a shadow. You don't have to believe in previous lives. You don't have to believe in future lives, but you have to understand, where does this stuff come from? You know, it arises in your consciousness inadvertently, and all of a sudden you go, "What? Why is that happening to me?" So we take refuge. When we take refuge, we have a motivation for taking refuge. And the motivation is actually the first prayer of the refuge process. The second part of the refuge is a support system that helps you to move very quickly from the drama mind into the natural mind. And when I say quickly, I mean in time, maybe in one lifetime, but very quickly. And the third part of the refuge is how to do that. How to actually establish these methods, which actually we should have learned from our parents, as a way of being in the world. So we're going to read this. And then in the reading of this, you must understand that I'm going to communicate, we are going to communicate this to the spirits that inhabit our body and wherever we are. That's the Sanskrit language. That's what it was designed for. Okay, so I'm going to start with communicating the motivation to the spirits, and we're going to read this in English. In fact, let's say it in English first, and then I'll let the spirits know. Read the top prayer. No, the top one, a very short one. This is the motive. This motivation is the difference between all traditions of the planet, religious or otherwise, and Tibetan Buddhism. Okay, if you want to know what Tibetan Buddhism is about, this first little prayer is what it's all about. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together take refuge and offer prostration. Now I'm going to chant that in Sanskrit. Dagdang Gowa Nange Dadan Yamte Samchem Tamche Judine Junte Jisi Jangchu Ningko Lachi Ipardu. Now we're going to read the refuge in English. We go for refuge to all glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all yidams who are the deities gathered in our mandalas. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have harbored the mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to all Nagas and Dakinis who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma. All of these possessing the eye and transcending awareness. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this supreme assembly, we go for refuge to enlightenment. May I do merit gain for practicing the six perfections accomplished Buddha the state of all beings. Now that in English, I'm going to say, we are going to say in Sanskrit. That's the other half of the thing. Goes like this. Alden Lama Dampa Nam Chapsu Chiyo Yedam Chokor Gilaso Nam Chapsu Chiyo Sanjay Chom Dende Nama Chapsu Chiyo Dampe Shur Nama Chapsu Chiyo Salve Gendu Nama Chapsu Chiyo Awo Kandro Chokyum Shume Shoye Sheki Shedam Kirpa Nama Chapsu Chiyo Sanjay Chodam Choki Chodam Mahajeju Parvishani Chansi Dani Jenso Jipen Sanam Gidodam Sanjay Sanjay Kirpa. That's it. That's over. All of what we do is based on these three. Everything. All the sutras, which there's 100 of those. All the tantric practices, which is 100 of those. Plus 5 of the Dhyana Buddha practices, which is about the nature of everything. All of that is wrapped up in this refuge prayer. Now, they mention the word prostrations up there in the first part. So, if any of you have been to Tibet, you've seen that acted out, or watched it on YouTube or whatever. But prostrations is a method of yoga that was designed by the Buddha and then emphasized in the Tibetan tradition to bring the body, speech, and mind into the same power mode, the same place. And how it works is you use your imagination with this prayer that you say you go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, love, and deities and protectors. Just rattle it on. While you're laying down and standing up. But at the same time, you're using the creative imaginary aspect of your consciousness to see that tree. You see that kind of funny picture there? There's a tree like loaded with llamas. All the traditions of Tibet hanging in the tree like a bunch of crows. And then behind the tree is a bunch of books, all the songs of teachings of the Sutra and Tantra tradition. Then in front of the lower branches are all the Buddhas. Those are humans who made it. Got it. Okay. Well, those Buddhas are never going to go to heaven. But they're also never going to go to hell or any other spiritual world. So what do? They hang. Kind of like but not in the spirit emotional place. Then we have bodhisattvas, that's us. Now, bodhisattvas have been doing this for many, many lifetimes. This is Ringo.
Blind.
He's blind, but he's cool.
Oh.
Nice class. We have another one, Mochi. Mochi's over here meditating in this chair. But in any case, this arrangement is to bring the creative aspect of your consciousness while you're laying down and standing up, which isn't easy to do. While you're saying this refuge prayer, I go for Buddha, I go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, love, and deities, to bring all beings into this mode of, I'll say, fun. Being. In a joyful way. Without making a big deal out of it, without building more ego like they do in Hinduism. I can say that because I used to be an Indian. I also used to be a Sufi. I also used to be American Indian and so forth. But this used to be stuff wasn't working too well until I came to meet a Tibetan woman named Kala Rinpoche on Maui. And when he got through with 2 days of teachings, I was sold. Because it struck my heart, Sean. It went way beyond the aspect of consciousness acceptance. It was like something opened up. And later I found out it was because I'd done it before. Previous life. And that's why you're here tonight. Look, we got 70,000 people on this island, 50,000 tourists, and here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ringo and the cat. So it's a very limited group of this tradition of Bodhisattva. Now, what do we do with it? Well, we had Christmas. Well, for us, it's Christmas every day. The first mode of action of a Bodhisattva is generosity. You just give as much as you can, and you keep doing that till you fall down and go to sleep every day. And then we have morality, ethics, and good manners. That's the second Bodhisattva practice. Well, that's simply based on not harming yourself, not harming others, and not harming the environment. But there's a whole bunch of rules that go with that. You can learn those things. And the third one is patience. Patience means relax in the moment. Well, yeah, I got to lay down and stand up and do this refuge prayer and imagine the crows in the tree, llamas, and so forth. But that's to develop with your inner nature, because nothing out here can really help you when it comes to insight. You can hear it out here, you can see it out here. Like we have a stupa down at Moa, you go there and all kinds of weird things happen to you just because of the way it's set up. But that isn't it. You have to take that insight. The experiences insight. Play around with them, mix them all up, practice them, then put them back out. how you decide it's appropriate. You know? That's the way individualism works. That's patience. It takes patience to do that, because everything's time sequential. Yes, in the moment there is no time, but it's very hard to connect to the moment. You have to be able to really focus. That takes practice. Number 4 is perseverance. Now, I'm a gardener and a farmer and a workaholic, so I know all about perseverance. But don't fixate on those things. Yes, keep doing them. Practical application, produce results. You plant your garden, plants come up, you eat from the garden, you're healthy. I'm 81 years old. I feel like I'm 16. That's through perseverance. See? You don't want to wear yourself out doing all this stuff. Number 5, meditative focus. Ooh. Now we're moving into the practice of all the lamas of the Tibetan tradition. But you individually, you don't have to be a lama. You're bodhisattva already. You know? Just be who you are. Moment to moment. Take your morning practice, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. We're going to do 2 hours, or when I get through blabbing, we're going to do some mantra practice. Out into the world. See what happens. You have relatives, you have friends, you have mothers, you have pets, you have spirits inhabit your body. Your spirits think their body, your body's their body. They get mad at you when you dump the body. You know, so you got that to deal with. Going to the next one. Then finally, insight. Insight means you move from the drama mind intentionally into the no drama. Intentionally. Yes, you need support to do that because your idea of the self is so ingrained, it's hard to adjust. But once you start to do that movement more and more into the natural state of your consciousness, the other one starts to fade like a dream, disappear. Once it's gone, you're free. There's nothing more to accomplish than that. Ultimate freedom. Ultimate freedom is based on your ultimate nature. Ultimate nature is maintained by having no judgment. Because everything you're sensing, you either say, you've already prejudged it. It's either good or bad. You've already prejudged it before you even come out of your dream state. You know, oh, I like this and I don't like that. Then you have these other complications where everything is, oh, it's high and mighty and wonderful and beautiful, and I gotta have it. Like religion. You know? I have Pope tattooed on my left arm. I woke up early. I said, that guy thinks he's the Pope. I'm the Pope. Here, hit me there. See? Well, that's what you do when you're a teenager. You get all kinds of weird ideas. But the American Indians helped me a lot with that. Then we come down to insight itself. How to relax in the other nature without your ego mind driving you up the wall. You know, the way everybody else thinks you should be. What do you want to do? Nothing. I want to be the ultimate goof off. Yes, I was a workaholic. Okay, that's my old self. Now, what have we been doing for 3 days?
Nothing.
Nothing. Bombs going off, the whole neighborhood sounds like a war zone. You know, so they want to do that. Christmas, everybody running around crazy. So today I'm waiting. I recycle appliances. That's my business. I'm waiting for the phone to ring. It didn't ring once today. Good. No business. Relax. See? This is how it works. That's your natural state. That's the way the universe is not making any judgments. Why should we? It's not saying you're good and bad and high and low and all that. doesn't do that. It just gives you a support system for life. If you can handle that, well, that's enough. Now we practice. How does the Dharma come down through the Tibetan tradition? Sound, vibration. Okay, 3 color codes, like the American flag, white, red, and blue. These color codes are simply patternings of antidotes to emotional state that have been in place for 26,000 years, according to the Buddhist tradition, of how to take the energy of these emotionally conflicting things that are going on in our mind, like attachment and aversion and pride and jealousy and so forth, and take the energy of those and turn them into something else. And that's a lot of energy, because you know, when you have attachment to something, you think right away, I need that. They start to become needy. And that neediness starts to grow into desire. Now, it started with attachment, now it's desire. Now, desire has another inflation. It goes to lust. That means you're not only needed, you can't get along without it. And then lust turns to greed and you're screwed. That's the situation of the planet today. Okay? That's what's going on from top to bottom. Social structure of all the military, corporate, religion, social programs. And if you don't believe it, look at Facebook. Okay? Turn on the news. So we disseminate, lamas, who are trained, to take the aspect of the incoming, the patterning, the light, and give it to the individual who wants to transform this drama mind with the body. It's specifically for your body. It's to energize the body. It's to hit every cell in your body with light. And what is light? It's energy. It's the energy of the, I'll call it the patterning of infinite space. And if you go to space, there's nothing there. Which is a nice place to be. This is the year of the space rat, by the way. Male space rat. And rat's very auspicious because all the signs are benefited by the rat. The funny kind of interpretation of the Chinese astrology, but it's workable. But what I'm saying here is the next part of the transmission of this shamanistic tradition is the energy of the light. And what happens when you change the patterning of your cell structure, right down to your DNA, which everybody thinks is permanent. It's not, because you're messing with it. You know the science is out there, DNA, this and that. We do the same thing. And when you change that DNA, the energy changes how you speak. It affects your speech. So what comes out with your exhale starts to become more and more appropriate with prayer and mantra and advice and whatever. Then you take those two together and move into the non-dramic mind of insight, which is already established in your consciousness. And of course you know that because you're connecting to a weirdo lama, Pashi, that's telling you that. Okay? From the Dalai Lama, which is consciousness out, floating all over the planet doing stuff. Mr. Smiley. He's my teacher. I spent 4 days with him in Hollywood, California. Can you believe that? Talk about the movie. So this blue code is all about healing. It's the home sign. So this is the home, which basically what we've all got a Hindu. The ah is the sound of energy itself, which all the languages are based on that one sound. That's how we communicate. And the hum is a combination of these two out here. Because that's where your exhale goes. That's what everything you take in and play around with in your heart chakra with loving kindness and compassion for yourself, eventually back out here. What to do? So here the Lama hits you with these three sounds and tells you, oh, all of a sudden you have this code. Your Chenrezig. Well, Chenrezig is no wimp. He's got 1,000 arms and 11 heads. And, you know, if you talk about methods, infinite method right there. That's the guy thing. But over here, we have the Tara. Now, the Tara is structured about the motherly principle and how it works in the outer world with the elemental natures of everything, including your body. And so you start to bring these two energy programs together inside of you, and out pops a Buddha. That's this middle one, which is who you really are. The Buddha means the patterning, and the Da means the light. Working, affecting, being effective, but in a simple way. So we're going to do that. We're going to meditate. Of the 6 disciplines of the Bodhisattva, it all comes together in meditation. If you can't meditate, you cannot heal yourself. And therefore, you cannot heal yourself, you can't heal others. Okay? You can call yourself a healer, but I've had a lot of healers work on me, they just made things worse. So you go. Back straight. Hands in a comfortable position. On your knees, in your lap, however. Mouth closed to start with. Breathe through the nose if you can. Eyes. Relax the eyes and gaze maybe 2 feet in front. Start your energy program right here with the energy of all the elements. They're all working right here in front of you. Head slightly tilted forward so you're lining up the energy centers within the body with the energy centers in your torso. Bring your awareness, which everybody has awareness, to your breath. And to start with, just breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Conscious breathing. Now we're going to take the mindfulness of the breath to the next level. When you inhale, imagine the air that has all the 5 elements coming into your lungs as white light. The second breath, called the absorption breath, is what the body does spontaneously with the air element, is to penetrate every cell in the body. We visualize that as red light passing through your entire body. Then we bring these 2 energies together and exhale out the nose, blue light as a healing breath to space. Beneficial to beings throughout space. Again, inhale white light, fill the lung. The energy breath, absorption of red light through every cell in your body. Like a flash, or however long you want to hold your breath. Then these two together by the exhale out the nose as a blue light healing to space, like the sky. Now we're going to increase the energy absorption of this for the wisdom training of what is called illusory consciousness or illusory awareness. This word means simply that everything is composed of light. This illusory nature of our consciousness affects our dream state, our waking state, and what we call the leaving the body state. Since these are actualities, we want to accept that now, and the tradition of Tibetan Buddhism uses illusory programming in the form of mantra for the speech, energy symbols for the heart chakra, for compassion and loving kindness, applied to self and everybody. And the aspect of the deity itself as an illusory state of highest awareness, which simply means an antidote to the drama mind. So now, as you inhale the white light with the breath, add the sound Om. Then the spontaneous effect of the energy passing through the body of the red light, energy itself, you hear the sound Om. And then you combine these two with the exhale out the nose of the blue light to space. You hear the sound boom. Breathe like that. Inhale white light through the lungs, hear Om. The energy breath through the body, the red light, hear Om. And the power breath of healing out the nose, blue light to space, Om. Now we're going to do our first mantra as an empowerment to ourselves of these three sounds. Goes like this. Inhale. 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 And anytime you want to use these three sounds for healing, for yourself, in the presence of others, or in dramatic situation, goes like this. Om, 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 Om. Do that. Nothing to imagine, nothing to be, simply relax in your mind like the sea. No meditation, simply be present in the moment, relax, let alert. Next part. What was that? That was the empowerment. This Om looks like this in Sanskrit. It's not the Hindu Om. This is the Tibetan Om. Okay? This Om is to empower this energy in your body. You know? Why? So you can do what you have to do. what you want to do, what you need to do, what's appropriate. And so once that energy is established in your body, it spontaneously will come out in your speech. Because you have to talk. You have to communicate. Hi. No? Well, hi is ah. You know? That letter H, that gets everything. Heating. Ah is the vibration sound of that energy, of the sound of the patterning in your body changing so that it produces an effect in your speech. It's very simple. It's what mothers do with the children. And so this is all based on motherhood. Kind of an antidote to the world's patriarchal situation, which the women really appreciate that, because they already know, right? Then the home is simply apply this to who you are, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Spiritually means to be in harmony with the universe, the world around you, and the beings in it. That's spiritual. Because most of the world is spirits. There's only 8 billion humans. There's an infinite number of spirits. You know? Hard to get a human birth. Very hard. You know, billions of planets out there that are appropriate for human birth. You know? Getting out of that spirit program and back into a human condition is really hard. You have to have some tricks. Awareness. But this home is the whole purpose of a practice. It's ultimately symbolized by a Buddha symbol called the medicine wheel, which incorporates all the teachings of the Buddha passed down through all the lineages of Tibet Buddhism to the present day. All in one symbol. So if you want to be a healer, you learn that mantra, that Buddha. Okay? Like Abby's a massage symbol. You know. And she's massaging somebody. They're not getting a massage. They're getting zapped. I know. You want to make some fun out of it. But that's what he was. There's the sign-up sheet. So when you see, when the Lama says he's given an empowerment, he or she, because we have many women on him, they're passing their physical energy, mental energy, their emotional energy program into you. We're trained to do that. And when it happens, you might do it, you might not. But what is happening? And it's just like their concern for your well-being is like a heartfelt thing, and that's powerful. It's not a mindset, you know. Like when we practice Hinduism, it's all about the me, mine, going to heaven, Shiva, and so forth. You know, big ego. You see these deities as statues and spirits and all the mantra stuff. It's all about I. That doesn't work. You know? You can't be happy by yourself. So what we do is we take the spirit energy from the lungs, who's doing the mantra practice, doing all of these programs, pass them into you, then you do them. The mama's not going to do them for you. And don't ever think that that happens. You know? We're not about devotion. Excuse me, we're not about propitiating the deities to give us something. Yes, we have devotion and respect. But they're only for the symbols they are to bring out our own compassion, power, and insight to benefit others. Or our garden, the earth itself, Mother Earth. You know, this house is surrounded by fruit trees and gardens, and it works. Yeah, it works. So, Om Ahom. So we're going to do these mantra practices, and we're going to do 4 of them. Have you ever done mantra practice? Have you done mantra practice? You ever do a Manjushri home? That's mantra practice. You do mantra practice? Indeed, you put one. Manjushri home. Same. How about Omar Patanadi Soma? How about Om Vajrapani home? We're going to do those. We're going to move through these 2. How about Om Tar Tutari Turi Soma? Right there. Okay? As you move through these mantra practices, the purpose is to bring the energy of all the lamas of Tibetan tradition from 26,000 years ago to now into you as a benefit, as a program. It's kind of like the computer. You want to change the program. And the program of the egocentric mind is so powerful you can't change it on your own. You have to have the support. But at the same time, you have to do the practice. It cannot come, yes, the empowerment can come from outside, but the actual practice has to be done by you, which is what you're doing. So as we do these three practices, I'm going four practices. I'm going to show you the seed flow. But you should know that when I show you that, the body, speech, and mind of all the lamas of Tibetan tradition are focused into you. That's their purpose. They have that infinite application. It's kind of like PayPal. There's cryptocurrency. There are these other cloud formations of the computer system. Like that. And you accept it. Work, not work. We'll see. Everybody's different. We're all equal, but everybody's different. We'll say we did that first. We'll do the first one. The first one is Chenrezig. When you do Chenrezig, you have a sound. The head of the Chenrezig is Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha is the Buddha of infinite light. Infinite light is the nature of your mind and the universe. Okay? That's called your unconditional situation. Yes, it's the condition of the universe, but in your mind, it's unconditional. And this infinite light is the energy program of the universe. And it has an infinite application, which is nice because we have a lot of different situations to take care of, individually and collectively. So we use this sound Kri. It comes from whom? It comes from Om Ahum, and the three together form this Sanskrit syllable. If you can draw it, it helps you to visualize it in your heart center. It is red in color, which indicates like fire, energy itself, radiation. And it's in a spatial state of five-colored light like a rainbow to indicate that it has five applications to start with. And those five applications are to transform your emotional program, like you do on a computer, into another program. You don't have to know what the other program is, but I can tell you that it's nice. Okay? To give you an example, you think in the drama world everything's separate. Because of that, you have this idea of separation. But actually, and truthfully, everything is integrated. There's no such thing as separation. The universe doesn't work that way. And if you're a gardener or a healer, you kind of start to understand that dramatically. But this idea of free is exactly that sound. And so it's called the creation sound, because it's based on the state of the universe itself and you being part of the universe. And it's called loving kindness. Like the mother to the only child. That's the free. That's the way the universe is to you. You don't have to think it's a god or goddess or supreme or supernatural and divine and all that. It's just the way it is. We're going to do it. Establish that in your heart and mind. Sit with your back straight. Eyes open, mouth closed, hands comfortable, head tilted. 3. Visualize the Lama in front of you as a representation of all the traditions of Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism in particular, with the 3 sounds, Om, Ah, Hum, shooting into you, white, red, and blue light into your head, throat, and heart. When the Lama in front moves into you and you become Chenrezig. 4 arms. Right arm holds a mala, left arm holds the lotus. 2 hands in front, palms together in front of the heart chakra. They're dressed in silks and jewels like a goddess. But these symbolize your qualities. You're sitting on a lotus, sun, and moon seat as a symbol of taking birth as a bodhisattva in the human condition. Once you can see yourself clearly as the 4-armed Chenrezig, visualize a 5-jewel crown. This connects you to the 5 Dhyana Buddha families, which is how you use your awareness while in the human body. It's 3D and totally like a hologram. Made of light, your ordinary body replaced with this symbol of compassion, power, and insight. Once you see yourself as the Chenrezig symbol, with the D, with the 3 in your heart centers, you project it to your mother in front, life-size, as a mirror image. Then you project the Chenrezig symbol to all your relatives, father, everybody you have relations with. Then to all your loved ones, lovers, associates, friends, everybody you have karma with this life. Even enemies and adversaries. Then you project it to all the 8 billion humans on this planet. Then you project it to all the animals in the ocean and on the land. So you're building a mind mandala based on the 3 in your heart center. It starts with that. Then you incorporate all the spirits which inhabit the entire universe. Your body, this planet, everywhere. When your mind is filled with the Chenrezig symbols, the mantra sound appears as a rotation sound of symbols around the 3 in your heart center. They circle the 3, the letters face outward, and when you sound this mantra, they move clockwise, filling your body with radiant light as healing energy, which escapes into space. Like the sun does our solar system. The mantra is Om, Ma, Nim, Pe, Nim, Om. It comes from the Indian mantra Om, Ma, Nim, Pad, Me, Om. In Tibetan, Om Mani Padme And we're going to say one round of this mantra and apply it to all the spirits, animals, and humans in your mind as Chenrezig, and all of them moving to become fully aware of their true nature. And in the process, enlightened. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Mani Padme Free, say free, free. Having established this mandala to accompany or engage all the spirits, animals, and humans in the universe as this symbol of compassion and loving kindness, power and insight, then you simply imagine all of those beings streaming into you from every direction, like rain into a lake. And you, as the central symbol, disappear into the mantra in your heart center. And the 6 vibratory sounds of the mantra, starting with the Om, one by one disappear into the the Free, the red Free. It, in a sphere of 5-colored light, blends or disappears into space. No meditation, simply contemplate space by being present in the moment relaxed and alert. The infinite light of your natural mind, everywhere present. Then you reappear as the deity Chenrezig, and we move into the next dimension of awareness, how to use this aspect of infinite light consciousness for yourself, others, and the environment. And we use the deity mantra of Manjushri, which is the bodhisattva of applied awareness, so that you fully understand and have the knowledge of how to use this ultimate nature in an appropriate way to benefit others and the environment. Visualizing the three in your heart center to change to a red D, which is the sound of light itself. It looks like this. Okay, so the three changes into a red D in your heart center with a 5-colored sphere of light around it, which is the applied energy of the 5 elements and 5 states of awareness, which actually come from a code sheet that looks like this, which is a lot. Okay, 5 elements, 5 states of awareness is antidote. So visualize the red D. The Lama appears in front with 3 lights of Om An Hum penetrating into your head, throat, and heart. Then the Lama in front melds into you like water into water, and you become Manjushri. Now Manjushri is Chenrezig with 2 arms, gold in color, and he's waving a sword, a blazing sword with a Vajra handle in the sky like this, cutting through ignorance, stupidity, bewilderment, all of that, delusion, And the left hand holds a lotus stem that is blooming by its left ear with the text of the Sutra Prajnaparamudra, the Heart Sutra, which simply states, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. And emptiness means the boundless light of space, or your mind, which is what we just did with the Chenrezig. But this symbol of Manjushri is about knowledge, how to use it, how to be effective, how to understand in your own situation, how to be in the world and appropriate in that position. So now we're going to do the practice of Manjushri in a similar way we did the Chenrezig. Be Manjushri. As the Lama melts into you with the Om, Ah, and Hum established in you, the seed cell of B appears in your heart center, surrounded by 5 colors of light. It's red in color. It's on a lotus, sun, and moon feet. You as Manjushri are a rainbow body, illusory body symbol, not only of compassion, power, and insight, but how to use it, understanding. Then you project that Manjushri to your mother in front, facing you life-size as Manjushri. Then to all mother sentient beings, all the beings you have karma with this life, all the humans on the planet today, all the animals and spirits on the land and in the oceans, Manjushri. All the spirits inhabiting this world is Manjushri. As you do this, filling your mind with this symbolic representation of power, compassion, insight, the mantra appears in your heart. And it goes like this. The sounds of the mantra are arranged clockwise, just like the Om Mani Padme Hum. These 9 syllables are Om, Ah, Ra, Ah, Ta, Na, Di, Soha. Say that. Om, Ah, Ra, Ta, Sa, Na, Di, Soha. Soha means always increasing. Everybody receiving. Timeless. Om Arapata Na is the vibratory energy of knowledge and insight opening up as a program in your mind about how to use the free, the energy of infinite light. The D is the sound of light itself. It is the seed cell. Om Ara Pancha Nadi Soha. 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 Now this mantra, these syllables are stationary and face outward. They don't move. The D is the sound of light itself, the nature of the energy of this world we're in, and your mind. And Soha simply always increasing, applied to everybody and everything. Timely. As you sound this mantra, you see the energy of it pouring through your body as Manjushri and is out to others to gain its purpose. And every being in your mandala, infinite in number, is doing the same thing you are. Om Arapatanadi Soha. 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 Without the sound of your voice, keep the visualization of you as Manjushri with the D in your heart center applied to infinite sentient beings, your mothers, throughout space, your mind. The next part of this practice is to apply it to the 6 types of sentient beings filling this universe. All the animals and humans on planets were throughout the universe. Not just this planet, but infinite planets. And then all the 4 kinds of spirits throughout space, in our bodies, in our world, everywhere. All the heavenly spirits, all the war god spirits called demigods, all the deprived spirits called hungry ghosts, pretas, and all the demonic spirits, psychotic. And those 4 categories all Manjushri. And the animals and humans same, just like you, equal. Then you sound the mantra by visualizing the D on a sword standing upright in your heart center. And the other 6 syllables is 6 swords penetrating those 6 realms so they never again experience pain or suffering. Blazing swords into these 6 types of rebirth. And you sound the mantra without the soha. Om Arapatanadi. The D is the sword upright. Om Arapatanadi. Om Arapatanadi. Om Arapatanadi. Om Arapatanadi. Om Arapatanadi. Om Arapasanadi. 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 The D is for your mind. The mantra is for your speech. The deity is for everyone else. Your mandala. Mantra, mind, mandala. Power, compassion, insight. And the third part of this practice is simply to blend into infinite light with the sound D, just like you did with the tree. And you focus on the D in your heart center, surrounded by a sphere of five-colored light. Focusing on the D, flash it like a strobe, like a supernova of light energy blasting from your heart center outward through the universe. And sound the D, just the D. D, D. Visualize the D blasting light everywhere. D, 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 D. Short break. Anybody need to use the bathroom? Drink. Pretty cool. Very hot. How are we doing?
Yeah.
This is our Zoom program. Do we know how many people on tonight? Well, we did it with, well, on the big island, they had a separate computer that showed how many people were tuning in.
Looks like there's 9 people.
9?
9.
Sometimes longer. Get a little vibration in the cells. That's what mantra practice does. You know? That's why the lamas, they're running the mantras night and day. Some of them are very effective using the dream state too. And I'm messing with that. Let it be whatever it wants to be. What you got?
I was just trying to fix the clock.
How are we doing?
Try to have some auspicious dream moments since beginning.
Any questions? See, this is Manjushri. This talk right here. That's what we have to look at. Just sit cross legged or sit up here.
Yeah, you could sit up there. That's why we have this kind of style of couch. Yeah.
Yeah. And be comfortable. That's the main game in meditation. Don't hurt yourself. You know, you do prostrations, don't hurt yourself. Do 1,000, 100, whatever you can do. Take a break. We do 7 days of Mahakala practice. Every hour. This is the year of the rat, space rat. Male space rat. Metal. Chinese metal. Very auspicious. You know, the rat, nobody likes. I just caught a rat today. Big one too, big fat mama rat. Loaded with babies. Been trying to catch her for weeks. She's after our other colony. Huh? Yeah, catch them alive. Trap. I put a little avocado in there. I know what she likes.
We love avocados.
They love our avocado.
More than cheese or anything.
Oh, I cut it out. But they chew the end and the avocado drop. Then I know I got a rat. So I cut off a piece and put it in our little catch 'em alive trap, which I put up in the tree. And I take them way up the road to a nice jungly field.
They're fruit rats.
I spit on them 3 times on the reaching point. Give them mantra, let them go. And make the connection. That rat has to be my student in the future life.
So the rat picked the right avocado tree.
Make a karmic connection. Stay away from my avocado.
You can have these when you come back in a couple of
Yeah, I'll grow your tons.
Yeah.
We catch a lot, really.
They're very clever rats.
Yeah, they go everywhere.
Like if you put something new out, they'll let the littlest one check it out first, and they just watch and see what happens to the little one. And if something happens, then they don't do that.
One day I caught 2 little ones on the mama. She let the babies go in first.
She let the babies go in the trap.
They weren't strong enough to spring the trap. And she came in. They can have 15 babies.
It's a good thing you caught her.
They really pulled them out.
That's a
Or
lot of-
little devils.
So do all the 15 babies then become your students too then?
Yeah, you can do that like every 2 or 3 months. Yeah. Prolific. Okay, next mantra. This is called a Nox possession. Nox means mantra, Pa means practice. Now, a lot of people do mantra, but they don't know that the mantra should be carried on after this formal session. So when you see or hear sounds like sirens, like ambulance, police car, then that triggers it, can trigger the mantra. Or somebody in stress, fighting or quarreling, all kinds of things. Then then that kicks the mantra. That's the benefit of it. If there's some animal hurt, then you give the mantra to the animal. Blow it into Pomeranian and spit on him. He's funny. My teacher, he lives in Honolulu. That's him then.
I just got a chuckle out of that.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. He's 87, almost 88.
He just makes me smile looking at him.
Yeah. He helps us set up all these Dharma centers. He came in 1974. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a monk, though. Not like me. Fool around the house all week.
He came here once about 20 years ago, and everyone mistook him for the Dalai Lama. And so you'll still find a rumor going around on this island.
Oh yeah, the Dalai Lama.
The Dalai Lama came and he did a puja, a pulahali.
A little bit. Not ashamed, yeah.
So.
Just a happy day.
Okay, now the body, speech, and mind transformed through this tradition is into compassion, power, and insight. The basis of all the practice is loving kindness. Loving kindness is actually the ultimate healing program. Like a mother for her only child, that kind of loving kindness. So if you think of Tibetan Buddhism as anything else, it's loving kindness. And if you don't have that feeling rolling through your mantras and visualizations and your relations with others, then you're not practicing Tibetan Buddhism. And it's not a learned thing. Compassion is learned. Altruistic compassion is a learned function of the mind. Unconditional love is learned. We have romantic love. That's the drama world's idea of love. Wimpy love. It's not effective. It has boundaries. You do this and I'll do that. That's conditional, like a Christian. That's conditional generosity. You want to practice unconditional generosity. Okay? Not just for family, friends, lovers, pets, and so on. All beings, especially the spirit. People don't understand the spirits control the weather. They don't understand the spirits control what happens in the earth. The rain, the sunshine, the air we breathe, that's all controlled by the spirit. Well, if that isn't in harmony, we're having problems. I mean, every day on the mainland, what do they call them? Tornadoes. Every day. That's spirit. They don't like us. They are riled to the max. And it's because of what we're doing to our environment. Worldwide. So to handle that, we come up with an aspect of Manjushri and Chenrezig, these two practices we just did, called Vajrapani. Now, Vajrapani is all about power. But power without compassion and insight is very, very dangerous, isn't it? Corporate power is an example. So when you go into this aspect of Vajrapani with the mantra I'm going to give tonight, the seed syllable home is the code, the sound. And it emanates from the medicine Buddha, and it looks like this. Come. Home. Looks like Hri, but the home has the hook at the bottom instead of the top. And it has like a dot. Now this home is the ultimate healing symbol of Tibetan Buddhism. Actually, all the deities start with home. Then they refine into their specific creation sound, like Kri and Ji and Tom for tar and so forth. But this is about power. If you have compassion and insight without power, you're not effective. You get that? If you have power with no insight, you're a politician. If you have power without compassion, you're dangerous. Okay? So compassion, power, and insight must be incorporated together as the deity of these practices, because you are going to enter into the spirit world with it. When you do, that's the 10th head. So you have three heads watching the lower realms, body, speech, and mind. 3 heads watching the animal and human world, that's the middle 3. And 3 heads watching the God realm, which are composed of the war gods and celestial. But the very 10th head is Mahakala. They call Vajrapani. And his seed syllable is home. And he is either male or female. We're going to use the male aspect. Okay? His consort is female. And when we do, the mantra is Om Vajrapani Hum. Very simple. But when you're this deity, you're standing on your own body as a support to be the deity. You are Chenrezig and Manjushri, and you are in action to subjugate everyone. You know what subjugate means? It means to hide. It means befriend. In Tibetan, they call it the lineage retinue. So if you look at the lineage retinues, it's not just men and women lamas. It's these spirits that were harmful in some way, now part of the program. Our side. Before harmful, now not harmful. Maybe not helpful, but at least not harmful. Okay? So how do we use them here in Hawaii? I'll give you an example. Now this sounds superstitious, which it is. But we had a problem with hurricanes. In 92, a hurricane came on island, and she was a nasty, and destroyed the island. Okay, put us out of business completely. Yeah, the whole island. Roofs gone, telephone power gone, water gone, food gone. Out of business. Iniki was her name. That was 28 years ago. Mama Rinchin came here and he said, "You have a problem here with the hurricanes?" I said, "Yeah, we just had a need." "Oh, let's build a stupa." I'm empowered with the wrathful deities in Tara. Yeah? I said, what's the purpose? She said, well, healing. But then after we finished the stupa, he says, no more hurricanes. I said, Lama, that's superstition. 28 years we've had no hurricane. They've been dancing around this island. We had 4 2 years ago, 4. Right offshore.
Where's the stupa?
Stupa.
Where is it? No.
Full of water. When you go down where the cruise stand is on the highway, there's an old highway cruise called Ko'olau'ili. You go down there and you find the stupa. You go on the website. Do your practice there and see what happens. Walk around it. It's an old Hawaiian area too. Night walkers. You go there at night. Okay, so now we're going to do this practice. This is seed zone. Think of Chenrezig as this deity, but powerful, standing on your course, black, holding the bell and Dorji. That's all. Okay? And smiling, but with an angry face. You know, you get mad and laugh at the same time. That's this deity. See the Lama in front? The white light from the Lama's head into your head. The red light from the Lama's throat into your throat. The blue light, dark blue light of the Lama's heart, wisdom energy into your heart. And these 3 sounds appear within the central channel of your body. The white Om in the head, the red Ah in the throat, the blue Om in the heart chakra. When the Lama melts into you, you become Vajrapani. When this takes place, the white Om comes down the central channel into the red Ah. These 2 together down the central channel into the blue Om. The blue Om turns dark blue with a white 5-colored sphere of light around it. Light goes out to all the Lamas, deities, and protectors. Comes back into the Hung and you as Vajrapani appear, but the energy is Chenrezig and Manjushri to the 6 realms, but you don't have to visualize all sentient beings as the deity. Then you sound the mantra. So see yourself black in color as this deity, wrathful, holding Vajra and bell, dressed in just bone ornaments, standing on your physical form as support. Then the energy of this goes to all the 6 realms, all the animal world, all the human world, and all the spirit world. As the spirits accept this offering of this mantra, most of them are subjugated, which means befriended. The rest go back to where they came from. Sound the mantra. Om Vajrapani Om Te. Say Te. Te means cut. Cut what? Cut your emotional affliction. Om Vajrapani Om Te. 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 Om Vajrapani Om Hey. 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 Now we're going to use the home as a code. The first 3 times we sound it, it's for your body, speech, and mind to be elevated out of the drama world, physically, mentally, emotionally, and most importantly, spiritually. The second part of the code is 4 times, which means in practice you bring your body, speech, and mind together with the practice as the realization of the practice and its usefulness. Then you sound it 3 more times that you enter into the 3 vehicles of the higher states of consciousness of the Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, all working together. This is called Tantra. So visualize the home in your heart center and you as Vajrapani. Sound the home 3 times. Om, Om, Om. Now 4 times to bring your body, speech, and mind together into the practice. Om, 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 Om. And then the full transfer into the 3 vehicles of Buddha, enlightened mind. Om, Om, Om. Vajrapani disappears into the mantra in your heart center. The heart center disappears in mantra, heart mantra disappears into the home. The home brings the energy of the compassion, power, and insight to all the 6 realms of sentient beings to alleviate their pain and suffering and to train them into understanding their own and how to use their own true nature. Simply be present, no meditation, and contemplate the boundless light of space. No center, no boundary, no circumference. Judgmental mind transformed into non-judgmental mind. Having contemplated the power energy of our own consciousness, we finish with the elemental practice of the Tara. The mother principle of loving kindness being the basis of all of these practices, altruistic compassion being the mode, and transformation into a free individual being the accomplishment. You see this Lama in front with the three lights into you. The Lama merges into you and you become Tara, green Tara, with the seed oval Tom. Looks like a letter 5 with a dot over it. Like this, in your heart center. This is a combination of all the color codes of Tara, which there are 21 qualities, and she represents the earth, water, fire, air, and space of the outer world as your program, your body. So you become the green Tara, Tom in your heart center. You apply this to your mother in front. She becomes Tara, facing you. Then all your relatives, friends, and lovers, just like you did Chenrezig. And all the humans on the planet, all the animals in the ocean and on the land is Tara, and all the spirits filling the world. With your mind is this symbolic energy of compassion, power, insight, and loving kindness. The mantra sounds in your heart. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. And you visualize looking like this statue as the symbol. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re Soha. 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 Then all the spirit world, this Tara dissolves into you. All the animal and humans as Tara into you as the central figure. You as Tara dissolve into the mantra in your heart center. The heart mantra dissolves into the seed oval Tom. It merges with boundless space. And you rest in a state of no meditation in the accomplishment phase of tantric practice. Simply be present and alert. The sensual perceptions of the body arise and disappear. The thought processes with their emotional conflicts arise and disappearing. This disappearing act of your mind and body is the nature of the entire universe. And relax and be present. Then take the refuge sheet and we'll dedicate the merit of tonight's practice at the bottom prayer. We'll do it first in Sanskrit. Kewa ni yurdam, chagya chanpu yurdam, doa chinting malu, they sala goparsho, sanjay kusum den pajam madam, choni negur den pajam madam, gendu miche dun pajam mati, Shita Roma Manjushri. By this virtue of having realized Mahamudra, and quickly establish all beings without a single exception in this state. With the blessing of the three values of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of Vesta Sangha being unwavering, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. May all beings be happy, free of suffering, established in bliss and emotional stability. And we say in Hawaiian, mahalo, Tibetan, duchi che, and Canadian, thank you.